Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. What we're going to do today is another home review. As builders and developers building ground up residential homes, we offer a unique perspective from the common population. And so why don't we just jump right into it. We're going to give our comments and feedbacks on what we see here. Now this is a house in Malibu. Revere had completed a house in Malibu. Ours was on the hillside with an ocean view. This is actually looks to be pretty much ocean front, which is a phenomenal location. It also has a very, very large lot. But wanted to make a couple comments. First of all, I think the turf woven through the hardscape on the entrance, always a very elevated finish. In order to accomplish this, you have to form out every single area that's not going to be concrete, so it's very labor intensive, especially down here, as you'll see. But I want to pay a little bit more attention to the inside because I think it's a little bit more straightforward. If you'll see here in the living room, there's a phenomenal coffered ceiling. Now this ceiling is traditionally just an aesthetic addition. It's not necessarily structural beams, although it can be. Primarily what we find valuable with this is this finds itself well when applied in, say, an office, a living room, a master bedroom. And it's also a great way to add a soffit and make it look pretty. If there are utilities like electrical, plumbing, fire sprinkler that are running through these, mechanical, that's always just a great way to kind of hide the fact that it's really a soffit. If you'll notice here in the kitchen, this look right here, this reeded look, is really trending right now. It's really in. I think that they've done a phenomenal job of staying current with the trends from an interior design perspective. Moreover, if you'll look at the backsplash area here, not necessarily a lot of buyers will pay attention to this, although we find it, we see it right away, is that they were actually able to save quite a bit of money on not having upper cabinetry, which actually makes a difference in the budget. As you'll see here, there is a lot of flush panels, these flush panels as well. So I'm sure it's obviously a push to open the door. But if you'll notice, one of the things here is that this vantage point doesn't show any cabinetry pulls. And it's very clean and sleek. There's a wine cellar. I think that's great. I'm not sure, by the way, if it's a wine cellar or just a wine room. The difference being that a wine cellar would have an additional mechanical and HVAC scope to make it temperature controlled. As we follow along, one of the things that we notice here is this is what's called a linear diffuser. Now, linear diffuser is an air conditioning register. Commonly, we'll see these boxes. We'll see these boxes that are registers, maybe 10 by 10 or 12 by 10, and what that is it'll let the air out. This sleek, slim linear diffuser look, we do in all of our homes. Just think it really, really elevates the aesthetic of it, or rather minimizes the eyesore that the old traditional registers have. The freestanding tub, no brainer, always what we're finding in new construction these days. Let me see what else. Some of these, I was noticing on a couple of these slides in the kitchen. In the kitchen space here, these ceiling pendants, this here, and then these here. These lighting fixtures, their lighting fixture package, I think is pretty thorough and pretty good. As you'll notice here, there's also a cantilevered cabinet here. Just not something, I mean, it could have easily just been a boxed cab, but to cantilever it makes it look a little bit more high-end. Just requires a little extra attention to detail and securing it to the studs and making it support there. These LED strips are great additional features to this master closet here. If you go back to where I was talking about the cabinets in the kitchen, these here are the cabinet pulls that you'll see as flush as we saw in the kitchen. They're shown here. The scope of this is in rough, when this is all just sticks, we're running low voltage wire, 22 gauge wire, and we allocate a space for these to be then sifted through when the cabinets are installed. actually requires a bit of additional attention. It's a little higher in cost for our electricians, but it looks great. This panel, also phenomenal. If you'll notice in the office here, this panel has several, so these we call reveals. So they could absolutely be doors, they could be panels, and it's just an aesthetic, but the reveals offer a little bit of a depth to that whole wall accent. And let me get into just a couple of more things that catch my eye. Obviously, their outdoor space is phenomenal. The fire pits. Now, in order to accomplish all of this, we're running underground gas lines. It requires separate permits, and it needs to be trenched several feet below the surface. Looks like they have solar panels they installed there. And yeah, just a couple of last comments here. This is a very unique feature here where it looks like there's a little bit of a table branching off the island, cantilevered out. It's a phenomenal aesthetic, not something we see often. In addition, they also did what's called a waterfall feature to the countertop, meaning that instead of just having the countertop run along the top, it also goes down the side, which we call a waterfall feature. And the fact that there's a slab, it looks like a slab of wood, I'm sure it's not a slab, popping out of this island would be a design element that I think would absolutely require not only more attention, but also may not necessarily be the easiest to install. If you'll notice here, there's also kind of a unique feature here where the countertop extends beyond the cabinets and then offers another little waterfall here. I'm not exactly sure what this negative space signifies or what they do with it, if it's really just for looks or if there's something else to it. Looks great. So this is a plumbing fixture that we're commonly using ourselves. It's always really affirming to know that when you see a extremely expensive oceanfront Malibu property having the same fixtures as you, that's always sort of a warm feeling. This is also a great asset here. This is a countertop slab that is prefabricated to also be a basin. So basin, or sink as it's commonly understood to be, was all done by the slab. So this is a great addition. We did that on a Hermosa project that we completed last year. In addition, this slab so this face of the slab gives the impression that the slab is that thick, when in actuality, it's just another piece of slab. It's really only probably between an inch and a couple inches in thickness. You'll put a face piece here and it gives the illusion that it's a very, very large stone or very large piece. And I think it's a great way to kind of add significance to the basin. And then in addition, it just means that from a framing perspective on top of the cabinetry, you're just adding extra backing via plywood and just pushing that condition up so that the top piece here is in fact sitting on top of plywood. And then, yeah, just the overall aesthetic. So we're looking at the elevations. There's leader heads there, which is just kind of a traditional downspout gutter connection. Yeah, that looks to be, let me see if there's anything else in addition. Now, as we're scrolling back through and as we conclude this video, wanted to make mention that if there's a home in particular, or if there is an aspect to this that we're not delivering that you would like to learn more about, whether it be interior finishes, exterior finishes, overall aesthetics or elevation, interior, exterior design, please let us know, and we would love to walk through that on the next episode. So, hope you found this useful and valuable, and we'll see you on the next one.